5.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online, 24 hours a day.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services Walk-In Clinic can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. While many may associate emergency management with emergency response, in reality, much of the focus is on prevention. At Tuesday night's DeWitt County Public Safety Committee meeting, Emergency Management Agency Coordinator Will Pavlik brought extra funds to the committee's attention, which he would like to use to provide spill kits to fire departments across the county. He says the leftover funds are from a grant provided by Enel Clean Energy.
Okay, so yes, so this is an attempt to see if we can help our county fire departments out. We were made aware at our last ESG meeting, our emergency services group meeting back at the end of January, that a lot of the departments were low or had none of any oil absorbent materials for minor hazmat cleanup, spills, fuel, stuff like that. And so our office wanted to try and take the initiative to try and help them out by kind of doing a mass order of a variety of different cleanup tools, like pigs, just some oil dry spread. And so we were kind of doing some research on different options. And so in the packets there, we had a variety of things. The top part is the oil, like kitty litter type stuff. And we had found a little bit from Menards that was running at $8.29 per bag. And we were looking to get approximately 7 or 8 bags per department. And so that total for the 6 departments, and if we got 8 bags each, we were looking at just under $400, $397.92. So that was kind of part one of the cleanup kit we would be getting for them. And then the second portion, we were kind of going back and forth between a 20-gallon drum universal spill kit and a 30-gallon drum universal spill kit. The 20-gallon drums got the 20-gallon drum, 40 absorbent pads, 3 absorbent socks, 2 absorbent pillows, 5 hazmat bags, 5 zip ties, a pair of gloves, a pair of goggles, and 1 spill kit sign. And so we had the one for the quote for the $20. The one was $197.79 per kit. Obviously, we would get one for each department. And so that total came out to be $1,186.74. The 30-gallon drum was the same materials. There were 10 more absorbent pads from 40 to 50, 5 more absorbent socks from 3 to 8, 3 more absorbent pillows from 2 to 5, 2 more hazmat bags, 2 more zip ties, and then obviously the 10-gallon drum differential. That total for one kit was $294.49, and the grand total with the 6 departments would be $1,766.94.
While this is not necessarily an essential need for departments, Pavlik believes this would be a good use of the excess funds. He emphasizes that they would not restock these supplies in the future and that they only plan to make this purchase once.
Obviously, we don't have to go this route either way. This is just funds that were available to us per Enel. We'd gotten a grant from them last year, just asking them for some assistance when we had gotten the lights for the Malibu. And so this would be coming from that fund in our grant monies account that the treasurer's office has some oversight over. And so we were looking to see either one of those options or just the 20-gallon universal, just the 30-gallon drum universal, but that's kind of the situation. But we wanted to do this in an effort to try and mitigate some of the issues that our fire departments were having.
It's going to be my question. As they use these, are we going to replace them?
We will not be in charge. I like I said, this will be a one-time thing. If they run out of this stuff, I think it'll be up to them. I want to do this as a courtesy, but I'm not going to be in charge of replacing all their stuff.
Pavlik told the Hart Media Group following the meeting that these spill kits are only intended for smaller spills, such as a fuel spill at a gas station or from a vehicle. He notes it is a good tool in mutual aid between county fire departments as well as outside the county.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like I had mentioned earlier, these are primarily for smaller spills.
Sure.
In a larger scale incident, outside resources and bigger resources, more equipment, more manpower would be needed. But for smaller spills, it would just be a matter of, giving a call to another neighboring fire department and say, hey, do you need any oil dry material? Do you need any kitty litter? Do you need any pigs, any socks, anything to help absorb what's, been spilled? And, that's something that we can discuss, at a later time with the other fire departments to see how we want that to be set up. But essentially, we're trying to get everybody kind of at a fresh start to be able to have a good stockpile of resources for a variety of incidents. And, we think this could help in multiple ways. It can help with preventing some of the fire departments from having to seek outside help for resources if there's a spill in their jurisdiction. Can help with, addressing multiple needs, like I said earlier, with different spills sometimes occurring in water that's treated differently, obviously, than if it were to be a spill on the road. And so we think this is, again, something that will benefit everybody from a fire department perspective and give them some, quick resources that can be deployed pretty easily for the most part. That's kind of why we had started this, kind of initiative for all of them.
Pavlik feels that the crux of emergency management is preparedness and being ready for situations from small spills to larger scale natural disasters. He says that it's about utilizing the blue sky days to stop emergencies before they happen or before they get out of control.
That's what emergency management is all about. It's about staying prepared. It's about trying to address an incident before it happens, right? We all hear the saying to, go in and trying to get stuff done on those blue sky days when there's no incidents happening. That's when the preparedness happens. That's when we take preventative measures, mitigation strategies are discussed. We try and do our best to, look at these things on days where we're not having to address an incident. And like to your point, Ben, if there was an incident that happened in real time and you don't know where the equipment is, you don't know who's going to be able to respond, that incident can escalate extremely quick, become a much more complex incident. And, we've got a much worse day than what we started. So trying to do these things, beforehand and making sure that, the equipment, the training, the exercising, if there were a situation where it would need to be exercised, that stuff happens, before an incident happens. And that's really what emergency management, like I said, is all about. It's about preparedness. It's about doing everything before an incident were to happen and really looking at stuff from, I hate to say it, but looking at it from a negative perspective and, just trying to see what can go wrong and how do we mitigate that.
The committee ultimately decided to approve the purchase, which still leaves roughly $5,000 for future use from the Enel grant. Also at the Tuesday night meeting, at the request of Pavlik, the committee moved to recommend the purchase of a new EMA vehicle to the full board. We'll have more on that in the days ahead with Pavlik from the Hart Media Group. Get news anytime from your computer or from your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
This winter, your to-do list should include hot cocoa, and that's about it. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, snow removal and winter upkeep are already handled so you can enjoy an easier winter. Schedule a tour today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
You wouldn't shave half your face.
Oh no.
Or chop down half a tree. So why leave weeds half-finished? Cairo herbicide from Corteva Agriscience delivers complete control with a novel triple-action premix formula, the ultimate application flexibility, and season-long protection against tough weeds. Cairo herbicide, going all the way is the only way. Visit Corteva.us/complete.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace now offers free assembly and free delivery, so it's never been easier to get a great grill for your family, like a Weber gas grill, a Traeger wood pellet grill, or a Big Green Egg charcoal grill. Only at your neighborhood Ace. Around the block. What you need in stock. With people who know their grills.
This is Brad from Gibson Ace Hardware in Clinton, Illinois. Stop in to see us, the helpful place at 114 North Madison Street, Clinton.
See participating store for details.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, ILSportsWire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Monticello was without 3 starters Tuesday night and fell to 63-48 to Prairie Central in Illini Prairie Conference high school boys basketball action in Fairbury. Prairie Central scored 9 unanswered points to go up 9-2 in the first quarter, and Monticello could not recover. The Sages' leading scorer, Matthias Rudolph, did not start and tried to play through flu symptoms but ended up scoreless in limited first-half minutes. The Sages were without juniors Jake Motzgood with a concussion and Gus Reppert with illness on Tuesday. Dawson Gatros took one of the open spots in the starting lineup and scored all 12 first-half points for Monticello. He was the State Bank of Bement player of the game. The Sages fall to 13-10 overall and 2-6 in the Illini Prairie Conference. They will host Champaign St. Thomas More on Friday to wrap up the Illini Prairie Conference slate. The Maroa-Forsyth Trojans came up short as they fell to the Williamsville Bullets by a final score of 51-44 in Sangamo Conference high school boys basketball action on Tuesday night in Williamsville. The game started slowly with the Bullets leading 11-5 after the first quarter. By halftime, they led 25-21. The Trojans held pace through the third quarter, trailing 34-29 after the third, but couldn't get the job done in the fourth. Cabron Lee led all scorers with 20 points for Maroa-Forsyth. Kobe Lane added 8 points, while Luke Smith and Cannon Grubbs each had 5. Williamsville had a more balanced offense. They were led by Caden Entwistle, who scored 15 points. Garrett Tim had 13 points, and Dalton Root scored 11. With the loss, Maroa-Forsyth falls to 15-8 and 4-2 in the Sangamo Conference. Williamsville improves to 20-5 and a perfect 5-0 in conference play. The Maroa-Forsyth Trojans have the Auburn Trojans up next. Tip-off is 7 p.m. on Friday in Maroa. The Argenta-Oreana Bombers beat the Villa Grove Blue Devils by a final score of 79-68 on Tuesday night in a high school boys basketball Lincoln Prairie Conference tilt in Argenta. The Bombers took the 18-16 lead after the first and grew their lead to 37-29 at the half. While the Blue Devils kept up in scoring, they were unable to overcome the final 11-point deficit. Isaiah Parks led all scorers with 32 points for Argenta-Oreana. Carter Logue added 19 points, while Cameron Strokes had 11. Gavin Taylor led the way for Villa Grove with 19 points. Thomas Vanderventer had 14 points, and Jackson Giles had 13. With the win, the Bombers improved to 9-17 and 4-4 in the Lincoln Prairie Conference. Villa Grove falls to 7-16 and 2-5 in the LPC. Argenta-Oreana will travel to Oka Valley as both teams try to get above 500 in conference play on Friday at 7 p.m. Regionals are right around the corner, and basketball programs around the state are ramping up for some of the toughest games they'll play all year. Jack Hart, founder of ILSportsWire, told the Hart Media Group on the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday that he hopes to have ILSportsWire personnel at as many postseason basketball games as possible. While it may take some work, he says the coverage of local teams and athletes is worth it.
Yeah, I've been going through the girls' schedule. It came out last Friday. One of the most exciting teams in the area right now is Clinton Maroons girls basketball. They have a regional coming up. They'll play either Sangamon Valley or Maroa-Forsyth at El Paso Gridley next week. So watch out for your Maroons. The boys will be having their regionals released on Thursday at 4 o'clock. We are going to be there at every regional game possible. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. We're going to be there covering every game. And we're hopefully going to be covering state for both girls and boys basketball. Even if your team or our team are not playing there, we're hoping to be at state to bring that coverage to you all. So keep watching out. We got an exciting couple weeks coming up here. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're excited. My team's excited, and we're excited for some wonderful postseason basketball that we're going to be covering.
The highlights won't stop there as Hart and his team prepare for the spring sports season. Hart founded ILSportsWire in August of 2025 and hopes to expand to even more teams in the future. Nick Boyd scored 25 points and John Blackwell had 24 to lead the Wisconsin Badgers to a 92-90 overtime victory over the number 8 Illinois Fighting Illini on Tuesday night. The pair combined for 9 of the Badgers' 11 points in overtime, handing the Illini their second straight overtime loss. Illinois lost on Saturday at number 10 Michigan State. Wisconsin improves to 17-7 and 9-4 in the Big Ten. They trailed by 12 points with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in regulation, but sent the game to overtime at 81-all thanks to 2 3-pointers by Austin Rapp in the final 2 minutes. Rapp finished with 18 points. The Badgers' Nolan Winter scored 4 points after a career-high 26 in an overtime loss Saturday at Indiana, but he had 11 rebounds. Keaton Wagler scored 34 points for Illinois, which played without starters Kylan Boswell and Andrei Stojakovic. Illinois falls to 20-5 and 11-3 in the Big Ten. Tomislav Ivasic had 19 points and 11 rebounds. David Mirkovic had 12 points, and Jake Davis had 11, and Ben Hummerkaus had 10 for the Illini. Ivasic scored 17 points in the first half. He played nearly the entire game wearing a number 52 jersey after his number 13 jersey was ripped in the opening minutes of the contest. The Illini came into the game as the number 5 free throw shooting team in the nation, but were 11 of 19 at the line. Their 8 offensive rebounds were a season low, and their 13 turnovers were the most in a Big Ten game. The teams combined for 69 three-point attempts, with Wisconsin shooting 16 of 36 and Illinois going 15 of 33. Illinois led 44-38 at halftime, rallying from an early 8-point deficit. Wisconsin is at home on Friday night versus Michigan State, while Illinois plays host to Indiana on Sunday. The Chicago White Sox agreed to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with pitcher Erick Fedde on Tuesday. The 6'4" right-hander went a combined 4-13 with a 5.49 ERA in 32 appearances with St. Louis, Atlanta, and Milwaukee last season. He made 21 starts for the White Sox in 2024 and went 7-4 with a 3.11 ERA. He will wear number 47 during his second stint with the team. The 32-year-old Fedde has a 34-55 career record with a 4.94 ERA in 8 major league seasons, mostly with Washington. He was named most valuable player of the Korean baseball organization in 2023 after going 20-6 with a 2.0 ERA. Fedde will fill left-hander Kai Bush's spots on the 40-man roster. The White Sox placed the 26-year-old Bush on the 60-day injured list so he can continue recovering from Tommy John surgery. Bush missed the entire 2025 season. In scores from around the NBA last night, the Indiana Pacers took down the New York Knicks 137-134 in overtime. The Houston Rockets beat the LA Clippers 102-95, while the Dallas Mavericks fell to the Phoenix Suns 120-111, And the San Antonio Spurs beat the LA Lakers 136-108. In NCAA men's basketball action from last night, number 22 BYU beat Baylor 99-94. Number 13 Purdue upset number 7 Nebraska 80-77 in overtime. Miami upset number 11 UNC 75-66, while number 15 Virginia beat FSU 61-58. Number 19 Vanderbilt took down Auburn 84-76, while 21st ranked Arkansas beat LSU 91-62. Duke, who's ranked 4th in the nation, beat Pitt 70-54, and number 3 Houston beat Utah 66-52. Texas Christian University upset number 5 Iowa State 62-55. Number 12 Gonzaga beat Washington State 83-53. Get highlights of your local high school program by